Hey guys, it's Lauren. Welcome to my channel and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about the best natural, neutral, and everyday eyeshadow palettes out there. I can totally resonate with all of you guys who, you see all these really cool eyeshadow palettes come out and you're interested in them, but you just want a staple palette. You want an eyeshadow palette that is going to be great for everyday wear, one that you can wear to work, school, and you can create a lot of looks with. So I have a lot of options. I have a bunch of my palettes sitting back on the table behind me, and I really decided to go through my collection and swatch, try out, do a wear test of all of these different and neutral eyeshadow palettes to really see what were the best of the best. And I tried to find a variety of prices, a variety of palettes with different shades, different formulas. There's a big difference. So I hope that this video is helpful for you guys if you're trying to find, your new staple eyeshadow palette. I will be doing some swatches and giving you all the information I can about these palettes. If you're new here, please make sure to subscribe before you go. I would love to have you as a part of the family. And just kind of an announcement for everyone, I've been really trying to step up my Twitter and my Pinterest game and all of that. So if you want to check out my social medias, I will have those linked in the description box down below if you're interested in checking those out. But I think that's all I have to say, so let's get into the video. So the first palette I wanted to mention is the Winky Luxe Coffee Palette. That's what it looks like. This product retails for $25. In the palette, you get 9 different shades. And Winky Luxe has a lot of 9-pan palettes that retail for $25, but this is one of the only really neutral ones I found. I do want to try out more of them, but for now, this is all I've tried. And honestly, on the formula, it is so good. So you can see in the palette, you have just a bunch of neutral shades. I would even say, a lot of people wouldn't, but I would say that this, what is this? It's like a bluish gray. It's the shade Cold Brew right there in the middle. I would say, it is beautiful. I think that this shade in particular, I've seen it on a lot of palettes, and it kind of is lackluster in all of those palettes, but in this one, it is super pigmented, easy to work with. Now, I will say, when speaking of the mattes, they do take a little bit of blending, so if that's something you're not into, like I said, I have a ton of more palettes that I'm going to be mentioning that don't take that much work, but the shimmers are just a dream. You can apply them with a brush, you can apply them with your finger, they are beautiful. So I'll show you some swatches, just a few of them, but if you guys would like a review on any of the products that I'm mentioning where you have, a swatch of every single color in the palette, let me know in the comment section down below. I would love to hear, because I will do a dedicated video to any of the palettes or any of the products I've ever talked about that you guys are interested in. So here is what some of the shades I picked out to swatch look like. I'll read the shade names from top to bottom really quickly. You have Cold Brew, then you have Macchiato, then you have Cappuccino, and then Frappe. They're really nice, pretty kind of bronzy champagne shade. Ooh, the shimmers, you guys, are so beautiful. I do think that, like I said, the masks take a little bit of work, but I think it is something that if you are more skilled in makeup, you will really enjoy this because the pigmentation on them is there. They last all day. I cannot say, enough good things about this palette. I really have enjoyed it, especially for that price tag. I think it is great. So the next palette I'm going to be talking to you about is the Tartelette Palette. This product currently retails for $39, and this is the original Tartelette palette that they've come out with, and this one differs from the others because it is completely matte. I've been really into matte looks recently. I love doing kind of a purpley pink look, or whether it's like a smoky eye, I've just been enjoying it. And if you are a more mature woman trying to steer clear of your shimmers, this is a really good option because this palette contains no shimmers, so it's not like you're going to be spending money on a product or a portion of the product that you're not going to use. And out of all of the mattes that I've tried, Tarte does have one of my favorite formulas. So here's what the inside of the palette looks like. I'm trying not to blind you with the mirror, but you can see you just have your pinkies, your caramels, your browns, your blacks, and your grays. You can create so many different looks with this palette, just so many different matte looks. And if you aren't interested in a completely matte look, then you can try out a shimmer with it. You can purchase it from any brand and just use it in conjunction with this. Because for me, I only use so many shimmers, and I kind of just have my staples that I use, so then that way you're really minimalizing your collection and using what you really love. So I have some swatches on my arm. However, I'm going to kind of preface this with saying the swatches on this palette aren't that great. They're kind of patchy, and they don't perform nearly as well as they do on the eyes. On the eyes, I just find them to be blendable, long-lasting. They just work really well, but on here, I'm just showing you them to kind of get the idea of the color. So from top to bottom, we have the shade, what is this? Natural Beauty. Then we have the shade Multitasker, then Wanderer, which I love, and then you have Power Play. So that is what they look like. I think that they are just, the quality in this palette is great. I think it is definitely worth the money, and if you are into a matte palette, I say it's totally worth the money. Alright, next up we have the Tarte Tartelette in Bloom palette. This product also retails for $39 and you get 12 different shades. The only difference between the original and this one is that this one has shimmers and mattes. And it is a little bit more warm tone than the other one. You can create a few cool tone looks, but it's primarily warmer shades. This palette is just my go-to travel palette, so it's a little bit dirty on the inside, and I apologize for that. Like, it's a little much. So here's what the inside looks like. You see you have your warm tones, your reds, your pinks. You have some like brown neutral shades, a black, a purple, and then, okay, this shade is incredible. However, I will say you have to use Fix Plus with it. This shade Funny Girl, it's like this really nice champagne. It is just beautiful. And then also these two like lighter, like see you have this white and kind of this, what is that, like a blank, like I can't think of the word, like a tan. And they are perfect for setting your eyeshadow primer. It makes your shadows blend like a dream. So I have some swatches on my arm, and these ones perform a little bit better swatch-wise, but they perform the same, like pigmentation quality, blendability, all of that. Like they are almost identical to the original palette as far as formula goes. So here is what they look like. The first shade, or from top to bottom, we have Sweetheart, Rebel, and then Rocker. And so you can see how that shimmer looks. It's just really nice. I would recommend either using a glitter glue or Fix Plus or something, because the shimmers tend to kind of crumble away, have a little bit of fallout, but if you do, you'll be fine and they'll look incredible. Next up, we have literally my favorite palette of all time. This is the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. This product currently retails for $49. I love Too Faced shadows. They are my favorite eyeshadow formula ever. I just think that they are constantly killing it. Whether it's a matte, whether it's a shimmer, it's just great. But this one, as far as shades go, it did it for me. So this is what it looks like. It's one of the much older palettes. It's a very well loved one, so much so that like the names aren't even on there, but I do remember them all. I have a couple swatches on my hand of just my 3 favorite shades. So I will show you really quickly on my hand. From top to bottom, we have Marzipan, which is just this beautiful, if they sold it in a single, I'd be done. So then we have Marzipan, Semi-Sweet, and Milk Chocolate. Milk Chocolate and Semi-Sweet are just incredible mattes. They blend so nicely. They're actually what I'm wearing on my eyes today as far as like matte browns go. They're beautiful. I really cannot say enough great things about this palette. You're just gonna kind of have to take my word for it. I can't even do it justice. Like, I can't tell you guys how much love I've given to this palette, how much I think it is worth the money. So yeah, I hope that you guys love it as much as I do. So this next palette is my favorite shimmer palette. I think that these are incredible, and this palette is perfect to pair with the original Tartelette palette. But this is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Volume 3 eyeshadow palette. So that is what the outer packaging looks like. This product retails for, I believe, $36. And you get a really nice mirror, as you do with like the majority of Tarte palettes. And I will say, Tarte palettes are hit and miss. Just because I'm mentioning so many great Tarte palettes doesn't mean anyone you pick up is going to be great. So here's what the inside of it looks like. It's kind of like a wheel, and you have all of these shimmery shades. And the whole idea of the palette, which I think is so cool, is that you don't need primer or anything. You just put them on your lid, and they are so pigmented. I love using these with my fingers. They just stay and are so nice. They're actually the shimmers that I'm wearing on my eye today. And so I'll show you really quickly a few swatches of them on my hand. From top to bottom, we have the shade, first up, like pinky shade, Heat Wave, then, what is this, Compass, Malibu, and then that kind of the only somewhat matte shade, Tiki. So these are just beautiful. That is like one swatch, you guys. I cannot stress how pigmented, how great. These are like pressed, like really pressed glitters in my opinion, and I think they work better than so many of the other ones that get hyped up. So if you're interested in finding, you know, really good glitters and shimmers, you don't want to have to buy a bunch of singles, this is a great deal. So if you're into kind of a more pinkier, warmer toned look, because for me with my blue eyes, I love that. And even if you have brown eyes, I have found that this palette is so compatible for people. So this is the Urban Decay Naked 3 palette. This product currently retails for $54, as you know the other Naked palettes do. So I'll show you the inside of the palette. And I will preface everything I'm about to say with the quality on Urban Decay Naked palettes, I haven't tried the Reloaded, but seems to be not as great as other palettes, especially on the shimmers. The mattes are just A+. The shimmers are a little lackluster, so I do want to just, you know, throw that out there. So here's what the palette looks like. You get a nice brush, a mirror, and here are all of the shades. I think that this palette was, you know, just a beautiful combination of so many great shades. I think that they did a great job on that. And there really isn't one shade in here that just isn't good. I think that you have, like, if you see right here, you have kind of darker shades with all those three, then you have kind of your brown, more browner shades, and then you get into those really, really pretty warm tones without being too intense, like a red or an orange, which I love. So this is kind of like a rose gold theme palette, and I have some swatches on my hand from top to bottom. I'll name them. So we start off with the shade Limit, that matte shade, which, like I said, the mattes are perfect. Then we have the shade Trick, Blackheart, which is so cool. I'll try and show you guys. It's like this black shade, like a matte black with like little like red glitter in it. It's so cool. It's the only like kind of like not natural shade in there. And then lastly, we have the shade Buzz. Buzz, okay, for every day, just a little idea. Buzz, this shade right here, and then this shade right here, Limit, they go so great together. And if you want, you could put like the shade, what is this? Dusk. That shade right there, it is incredible to put in the inner corner. That look, you're good. There are so many great looks to create with this palette. I think it is great for every day. If you wanted to touch it up a little bit, throw a little black heart in the outer corner, you have your perfect night out look. So this is a very versatile palette. Like I said before, the formula isn't the best in the whole entire world, but I think if you're willing to sacrifice that for the great colors in here, and they are nice, you may have to, you know, use a glitter glue with the glitters, but like, it's all good for me, and I would recommend it. Alright, the next palette I'm going to be talking about is the Colorpop Doubleentendre palette, which retails for $16. So this is a relatively affordable palette, and I just think that the quality on it isn't there. It's just like all of the other Colorpop palettes, if you've tried those out. I think that the shimmers in this palette are great, that the mattes in this palette are great. There's even a matte with a glitter in it that is really good as well, and those are hard to formulate. And the names on this are cute. There's so many like cute things about this palette. And I would say it's kind of more of an orangey, warm tone nude palette. There is like no cool tone looks you can create with this palette. So if that is more your speed, then you would really like this. So I'll show you all of the shades. I just think, now one thing I'm going to say is, as much as I love the formula, as much as I love the color and the way the shades perform, they do look different. Like if you look at a swatch or if you use it on your eye, the shades come out a different color than they are in the pan. So that is something to note, and that is why I'm going to show you a few of the swatches that are incredible. They perform the same way as they do on the hand, on the eye. They're great. So I'll show you really quickly some swatches. So we're going to start off with the shade, the shade up here, and that's Nip Slip. And then we go down to Draft. Then you have Uninhibited, which is this really cool shimmer and kind of shows you that quality. And then you have Sand Noodles. So all of the shade names are really cute, but more than that, the shades work really well. And I think for a neutral palette, Colorpop killed it. I feel like Colorpop never really comes out with just an all-around great neutral everyday palette, and this is the one to get. It's still available. I don't know how much longer it will be available because they have had this one out for a while, and we all know how Colorpop is. They don't keep something, you know, rolling for a super long amount of time, so if you want to get your hands on this, I would say act fast. Alright guys, that concludes today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. I really did enjoy prepping for this video in the weeks prior because I was trying out all of these different neutral eyeshadow palettes because believe me, I have a lot. And I really wanted to keep this video to the best of the best. And so I try these out and make sure, you know, the look I was creating, the wear time of the look, everything was, you know, up to par. So that way I could give these recommendations in good faith, knowing that your money would be going in a good place and that it wouldn't be for a waste. So if you decide to take any of my recommendations, please know that I really am just giving my honest opinions on all of these palettes. And I do have links in the description box down below if you're interested in picking up any of them, checking them out, learning more. Also, if you would like to learn more and you want more of a specific review on one of these palettes, then please let me know in the comment section down below. I'd be happy to do so for you guys. Yeah, I have a lot of fun content coming up in the next couple of weeks. I've been placing orders on, you know, makeup sites, really, you know, coming up with fun content. So if you're interested in that, please stick around. If you haven't already subscribed, please be sure to do that as well. I just wanted to thank you guys for taking the time to watch my video. I really do appreciate it, and yeah, I hope that you guys have a great couple of days until I post my next video, and I will see you then. Bye!